Okay, good evening again. Very warm welcome to all. I hope that everybody of you is well and safe in this current unpleasant situation, and all of us have a positive corona effect. The presentation duration will be around 40 minutes, and the total time we have allocated for this is 1 hour. We lost 5 minutes. So I'm sorry that to keep you all muted. I will be, after finishing the presentation, answering your questions. So if you have any question during the presentation, please write it down and send it through. And I will be answering all the questions after the presentation. All right. Uh, the topic of this presentation, as you see, importance of specialized lighting design and implementation of international lighting standards and norms, and energy saving measures. Why? Why this presentation? What's the purpose of this presentation? What we are going to gain from this presentation? As the main purpose of this that I will show you uh, is by having a specialized lighting design and the proper implementation and understanding of the international lighting standards and norms, you can achieve an optimum energy saving. I presented this presentation last year into two large events. The first one was for the Royal Commission in Jubail Energy Conference, and the second one was for the Energy Efficiency Chapter of Aramco in Dhahran. These are the main topics of the presentation: importance of lighting in interior spaces, importance of proper understanding implementing of lighting standards, importance of energy saving lighting solutions, energy saving measures in lighting design, and finally, the electrical power quality of LED products. All right. We still think that lighting represents a considerable amount of electrical energy compared to the total electrical energy in public buildings. What CAPSARC has done, CAPSARC is King Abdullah Petroleum Research Center. They have issued a research in 2016 where they have studied the electrical energy behavior in 5 major cities: Riyadh, Jeddah, Tabuk, Abha, and Dhahran. And where you can see from these pie charts, the blue sector here, which represent cooling, that cooling is the major contributor of electrical energy, where lighting represent in the hot cities like Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dhahran between 14 to 15%. And in other cities like Abha, because it is a colder city, the lighting represents 27%. So in overall, the lighting represent 14 to 15% from the total generated electrical energy. This figure globally represents about 19%. And it's very obvious why, because globally, I mean, like in Europe or colder regions of the world, they don't have cooling as much as we have here. So as you can see, that still lighting represent a considerable amount of electrical energy which can still be saved. This standard, which you see here, is a SASU standard, code for lighting of indoor workplaces. This standard was prepared by myself more than 10 years back for SASU, where I have adopted the British standard, CIBSE, code for lighting. I'm showing this because I will be referring to this standard throughout my presentation. All right, before we proceed, it's very important to define what is the good lighting. We all know what is light and what is lighting. And I'm sure if I ask any one of you, he will define what is light. But how can you define good lighting and how can you achieve it? What the standard says, good lighting will create visual environment that enable people to see, move around safely and perform the task efficiently, accurately, and safely without causing undue visual fatigue and discomfort. And what also the standards say that good lighting requires equal attention to the quantity as well as the quality of lighting. But what does the specialized lighting designer say, or what he do? That he will pay more attention to the quality of lighting more than the quantity. Because as a matter of fact, if you maintain a high level of quality of the lighting, you can reduce the quantity of light. And what are the criteria, parameters of the quantity and quality? And they are, I will explain in the coming slides. This was extracted from the same standard, recommended lux level for the office applications. The whole presentation, I will be only specific about office lighting. So this portion of table here, there are 3 columns. The first column, which is EAP, which is the average illuminance, which is the recommended lux level here. And the second 2 columns, UGR, CRI. These are considered as quality criteria. The first one is a quantity criteria. Of course, there are other quality criteria like the vertical illuminance, the luminance, the direct luminance, the indirect luminance, the reflected glare, and so on. These are not covered in this presentation. Okay, we mentioned about UGR, UGR Unified Glare Rating, which is the indication of discomfort glare. And this is calculated by a formula, a unified formula issued by the CIE standards, the International Committee for Illumination. And this UGR is categorized into 6 categories. All the standards decategorize it, 6 categories from 13 to 28. 13, no glare. 28 is disturbing glare. And what's recommended for office applications is 19, that when you design an office, your target for the UGR is not to exceed 19. That is in order that your office environment, the lighting solution there will be very comfortable to the users. Okay, the second quality criteria, which is the color rendering, or CRI or RA, that all the standards say that the color rendering, which is an inherent parameter or a criteria of the light source, that for the spaces where people are using the space for long periods, it should not be less than 80. The third criteria, which is color appearance and color temperature or correlated color temperature, and color temperatures of less than 3000 Kelvin, that produces a warm color appearance, and color temperatures of more than 5000 Kelvin produces a cool color appearance, which is like a bluish light color appearance. And what is in between 4000 to 5000, that is the normal white light. And what's recommended for office applications is should be between 4000 to 5000 Kelvin. All right, about going back to the UGR, which we said is the glare rating. You cannot just use an ordinary luminaire, any luminaire, Okay, and you expect a UGR rating of complying to the standard, which is should not exceed 19. You have to use specially designed UGR verified products. These are some examples of products which they are categorized to be UGR less than 19. So for office applications, these are the tabs which you can use in your office space. All right. Now, this is an open office space, which in many cases, when it is designed by the engineer, when he designed this, he designed the whole space to achieve the recommended lux level, which for offices, which is 500 lux. And in not all the cases, he have the office furniture layout. So what he has done that to achieve the 500 lux everywhere, anywhere in this office space. But is this correct? Is this what the standards say? I say no. What the standards say that the 500 lux should be on the task only, on the task. So our duty here is to define the task. Where is our task? In our case here, in this open office space, our task are the workstation itself or the desks. So here we should have the 500 lux, not everywhere. So look here at, this is extracted from the standard. An illustration, this small rectangle here represents the task area, which is the desk. And the larger rectangle represents the immediate surrounding. And this will be between 0.5 to 1 meters all around the task area. And so when you have the 500 lux as a task, you are allowed to have 300 lux in the immediate surrounding. And the area elsewhere, which is called the background, okay, you are allowed to have 200 lux. So if you design and you have achieved this, you are perfectly achieving the standard requirements with optimum energy efficiency. And the task level here, when we say 500 lux, that should be with a uniformity not less than 70%. What the 70% here means is the minimum value divided by the average value. And when you do the lighting calculations by the software, Dialux or Relux, okay, in large areas like this, so it's recommended to have a wall zone. That wall zone, it will be most of the cases 0.5 meters, where in this wall zone you have the software will exclude and will not calculate within this area, because usually this area, which is close to the walls, will produce very low illuminance values, which jeopardize the uniformity. All right. Now I will be just doing some comparison between different LED products and different LED solutions. I'll take this first one as the base case. I will be comparing the coming cases to this one. So then in this case here, I'm assuming an office space of 10 by 8 meters. And I'll be using 16 numbers of 60 by 60 LED luminaires. But in the base case, I will be using 60 by 60 LED panel. I'm sure that you all know what I mean by LED panel. So the LED panel, it looks like this, okay, where it is a thin luminaire, with a thickness of less than 3 centimeters. And on the LED luminaires, the LED chips